Welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with more twins. I'm the Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what kind of podcast are we doing here?
It's a podcast where we question whether we have hands or not.
All right. So, in 2 chapters ago, in the other Hannah kind of loses herself a little bit. Luckily, she was alone, and Zig helps her sleep.
Well, she's alone. How is Zig there?
Because Zig is always there.
And if she's alone, how is Hannah there?
Well, that's what she learns, is there's a Hannah there. And then she asks a few more questions about the situation, and they move on. What happens next?
Oh, you did that one really quick. Okay.
Yeah. That's the idea. It's just a recap.
Chapter 19, The Threat. The siblings kind of quibble as they go to their next task, arguing about what they should do.
And then Izzy does it.
And then Izzy does it, grabs 5 more guys and sends them through. And then they go to Grandma's house where Infrazyg is there.
And Hannah shows up in the form of Hannah.
In the form of Hannah in Izzy's knives.
Yeah, and then they find Infrazyg. And then they face Infrazyg.
And then they take him to the Grand Canyon, and there's this big explosion, and Renner's hands get exploded on.
Yeah, but that's where we left it. So we don't really know what happened after. I mean, after all, Zig is an advanced alien race of entities. So we're just gonna go see what happens next in Copies, Chapter 20.
Chapter 20.
Okay, I got this.
You got this?
I got this. I can do the voice acting, right?
You
You want to try voice acting?
Not right now.
Okay. Otto reappeared, feeling better. That was quite a hit, Hannah told him as he opened the portal, all her metal holding Infrazyg. She tossed it through the portal before it closed. How is Renner? Hannah asked. Alive and screaming. Looks like he might not have hands, Otto said morosely. What are we going to do, Hannah? We're all going to die. This is insane. Otto began to spin out, his mind going faster than he could speak, panic overtaking him. Hannah walked over to them and hugged him, easing his anxiety and sadness little bit by little bit. When his breathing regulated, she looked at him in the eyes, saying, I love you, Otto. Zig beamed him up. Otto smiled. Let's give our brother our support. They walked over to Izzy, who was crying outside the door of a room Zig had made for a special medical circumstances in the lower half of the mountain. Renner was in there with Katie. Are you going to be okay? Hannah asked, as she hugged her sister. With you, I'll always feel better. Izzy wiped her tears on Hannah's shoulder. Hannah looked her in the eye, just like her brother, only Izzy said it with her. I love you, Hannah. They made them both giggle.
Wait.
I love you, Izzy. Whoops.
Yeah.
Then they made them both giggle. The door opened. Renner was on the table. Vines were holding his left arm. Where his left hand should be was covered in a kind of loam. Zig says, it's only my right hand. Zig says it's only my right hand that's the problem. The left is just fine. But that's no problem. I was born without a left hand anyway, remember? Zig was...
Okay, there's some... Before we get deeper, because it's going to become a problem, it's going to irritate the heck out of me. Okay. On the table, Vine's holding his left arm where his left hand should be. Zig says it's only my right hand that's a problem. The left is just fine.
Yes. But that should be the last time we have that problem.
So
I think I wrote it as left, and his right hand is the problem.
Okay.
He's trying to get it back with the earth, but it's not working.
Yeah. So, I was born without a left hand anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. You want that to be
Yeah, but
right?
no, his right hand, it's gonna work because the loam is working on the right hand. Yes.
But Zig says it's only my right hand that's a problem. The left is just fine. That's not a problem. I was born without a left hand anyway. How is the left hand just fine?
Because he was born without it.
But why is Zig saying his left hand is just fine?
Zig says that it's my right hand that's the problem.
Yeah, meaning it's gone.
Meaning it's the problem. Because the left hand no longer presents a problem because there isn't one. There is no left hand. It was never a problem in Renner's mind. But we haven't gotten there yet. It is confusing, and it's intentionally confusing. Because he's not supposed to be saying those words. Those words make no sense coming out of his mouth. But, as we go on, Zig was standing in the back of the room, and they looked to him. problem, Infrazyg. That's the problem. Infrazyg didn't destroy his hand now. He destroyed it through all time. He doesn't remember even having a hand. And he will never know or remember what it was like to have one. It seems that the curative you applied in the moment of obliteration, Hannah, you saved his right hand. Excellent work, Otto said, hugging her. To Hannah, this meant more than normal. Now that there were two prides filling the Hannahs, everyone could feel the pride of their sister. You deserve a break after that, Zig encouraged. Hannah got a mischievous look on her face. Let's meet together at home. I want to show you something. Oh, let's meet together at home. Hannah told her siblings. Oh my goodness, this is awful. Otto and Izzy nodded, but Renner stuck out his right hand and thumb with a big grin. Hannah left the room. Otto was the last one to show up at home, citing the need for food by carrying the backpack aloft and chewing on some of his nuts. Good, I needed that, Renner said, grabbing the bag from him. He put it on the ground in front of him and rustled around in there until he removed an intricate and hyper-realistic prosthetic hand. It's just missing an H. Sorry.
Wow.
I messed that entirely up. Let's try that one more time. So, Renner said, grabbing the bag from him. He put it on the ground in front of him and wrestled around in there until he removed an intricate and hyper-realistic prosthetic hand and affixed it to his right hand, affixed to his left hand as if he had done it every day of his life.
You're just as confused.
You messed up on me here. You messed me up. Hannah created a long, flat metal platform for them to stand on. She motioned for them to climb on. She raised it, and they flew gently over Zig. This is incredible, Izzy shouted over the rushing wind. Zig called me an angel, a human that has taken a step toward divinity by being beholden to another consciousness, she said as they stopped on the roof of Zig. Otto reached out and touched the hardened sap that made the glass at the top. Everyone else was looking down, where everything was laid bare below them. They could see the top of the mountain. It was filled with what looked like lava. Knew it was a volcano, Renner said, looking over the side. Izzy felt at the feeling that the distance growing between her and her sister created. She worried. Hannah took Izzy and looked into her eyes. You will always be my sister, and you and I are eternally intertwined. Not even our brothers could say that. Izzy's worry melted. Tears of joy filling their eyes as they hugged.
Hug, hug, hug.
Otto had his clear rings on. I want to try something. Let's get the real view. And looked down. He opened the periscope for others to see. The view was unlike anything any human had ever seen before. Nature seemed to be teeming with a small form of life that seemed to make up larger forms of life. At the same time, each life form connected to the next to form the landscape. But the life forms were so infinitesimally small, like building blocks of life were somehow made of life.
Oh, wow.
Hannah saw it different. Each piece of Zig was like her own, needing to be recognized and cared for. Izzy pushed the bottom of her Zig box. Zig joined them up there. This is quite a sight, Zig said, looking into Otto's periscope. They all looked at him for an explanation, but he looked to Hannah, who was crying. How do you keep them all happy? After a certain amount, we began looking after each other, Zig explained. Hannah was flabbergasted, and everyone felt it. This is utopia, she explained. This is what Earth could be if we recognize that intentional evil must be withheld at all costs. Zig smiled at her. Goodness must prevail. She was shaking from the gravity of the information. Hannah sat down, the concept of being a god settling into her mind. Don't try anything drastic, Zig said before leaving them to their own devices. Otto put away the periscope and stood up. What would happen if I fell? This was his downfall, as it gave Izzy the idea to push him. He began to fall but before it got out of hand, Izzy winched him, laughing loudly. Hannah was laughing when she closed her eyes and fell backwards. They all looked over the edge and watched as she descended towards Zig. When she opened her eyes, she saw Hannah looking back at her. She closed her eyes again and watched herself ascend back toward the platform until she was out of sight, and then simply opened her eyes and stepped back on. Me next, Renner said, hooted jumping off the platform. He's aiming for the lava, Otto pointed out as the platform descended with Renner as he fell. He was laughing maniacally. The platform moved under him and rapidly slowed to his descent and then dropped them all off in the geo near HQ. Then all the metal was back inside Hannah, and they walked into HQ in good spirits. Zig smiled as they entered, aware that his news would put a damper on it. He waited till the joviality subsided, then he explained. I figured out what Infrazyg was doing on this side. He planted another tree, this time on our side, which is a clear trap that I'm not sure how to foil. His voice came out worried. Well, if there isn't a tree there, then what will happen? Renner asked semi-rhetorically. The worlds will further differentiate until the event that happens will cleave the two into four, preventing further recombination efforts. Zig said, I got a lot of shit. I got a lot of... The only problem is I will have no access to that world, and I cannot aid you in any way, Zig warned. Oh, whoops, I skipped. Then it seems we have no choice but to step into the trap and defend ourselves at all costs, Renner concluded. The only problem is that I will have no access to that world and cannot aid you in any way. I already said this too. Zig warned. Where is the tree? Izzy wisely asked. The center of the screen displayed the scene of a metropolitan area. It was atop of a skyscraper. This couldn't be any easier, Otto said. All we gotta do is open the portal and toss the seed through, right? It must be buried in the earth. It takes to it quickly, but it must be covered, Zig explained. What if only one of us needs to go through? Hannah said, herself the obvious candidate. That wasn't so good last time, Zig worried. What if Hannah goes through? What if just Hannah goes through? Hannah asked. What if he wants Hannah? Renner said, the words not sounding quite right coming out of his mouth. That is likely, but he would need to remove the DNA that had been sewn together between the Hannahs, Zig explained. We need a way into understanding his machinations. What if we send in clones? Otto shouted triumphantly. Yes, he would have no way of knowing, and we cannot disconnect we can just disconnect when everything's done, Zig exclaimed excitedly. But who's being cloned, though? Renner asked. Seems like it'll have to be you two, Hannah reasoned, looking at Izzy and Renner. Sure, but why? Izzy asked. Well, I don't think I'm compatible with the process, she said, looking to Zig, who nodded, and Otto can watch the events and tell us when to pull you. We have been working on the rapid growth variant of the DuPots. If we have successfully started the growth today, then tomorrow we can get started on the mission. Renner and Izzy disappeared with Zig, where they were placed in the DuPot's pots and left to grow overnight.
Okay, so this
Mushmouth Max. I couldn't even try to put on a voice anymore. I don't know what was going on.
So there's a problem with your title of your chapter here.
Why?
Clones is the next chapter, obviously. This chapter is something else.
I don't mind.
Well, I'm just saying it is something else.
Well, we just read it.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you think it should be. Maybe it'll change to that.
So scroll up real quick.
Of course, I may have just seen the answer.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that might be a good one. Goodness must prevail. Alright, so scroll up real quick. Let's fix this left hand, right hand thing. Go back up.
This is so bothering you.
It is so bothering me because to me, Zig would tell him his left hand is the issue because it's gone. His right hand is easily fixable.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think what I would say is Zig would go with him on that his hand has never been there.
No, but originally he would say that. He would tell Renner, your left hand is the issue.
Not if he understood that was the case, that his hand has gone through time.
How would he know that was the case?
He's an alien from outer space.
He just knows.
I would say he has a way of understanding that is beyond ours. That he can see the time thing being wrong there, that we can't. Displaced tachyons. Do you want me to put that word in there?
No, it's not my point.
I'm coming out a little aggressive, and I don't mean to be.
You don't be aggressive. Be aggressive. Anywho.
Don't be aggressive.
Zig says that it's only my right hand that's the problem. The left is just fine, but that's no problem because
yes,
the left is just fine. He wouldn't even talk about the left hand because
it is a very big problem what Renner is saying here. I agree, and it's really hard to explain what I'm trying to do here. But what you're saying is there is no fix to it.
Okay,
because that is a problem in the story,
Zig
right?
knows. Zig knows that Renner has no left hand in his head.
He
right?
will never have a memory of having a left hand.
Yes, can you let me finish talking?
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that point.
Sir Interrupticus.
I know, but I wanted to... You were making a point, but you weren't going far enough, is what I'm saying.
Yes, he will never have a memory of having a left hand.
So then why would Zig even try if he knows that his memories can't be formed?
Okay, that's fine. Why would he ever tell Renner then that his left hand is fine? There's no left hand. There's no need to mention it.
You're imposing that. It's a separate sentence.
No. Zig says it's only my right hand that's the problem. The left is just fine.
Where is it?
Right there.
Right here. Period. That's after.
I didn't even talk about that.
Oh.
You see what my problem is?
He wasn't saying. He said Zig is the right. Zig was just saying the right. He's not saying the left hand isn't. He's saying that the right hand is. And why would Zig try to implant a memory that he can't?
He's not trying to implant a memory.
Can't.
I'm not saying he's trying to implant a memory.
If he were to inform Renner about it at all.
If you go to the doctors with no left hand, and your right hand's all sorts of gunked up.
Yes.
Why would the doctors even mention a left hand if you don't have one?
That's what I'm saying. They didn't. Renner is adding that.
Why would Renner add that?
Because he wants to go on and say that it's not a big deal because his left hand never existed anyway.
But
it is a logical fallacy that I'm speaking through here. It does not work.
But he wouldn't even mention it. That's why I was saying the other way around.
You're saying that Zig mentioned it, not Renner.
Because it says, Zig says. Renner said, Zig says it's only my right hand.
My left hand's just fine. See? I never had one anyway.
Why is that a thing to bring up?
Because his right hand is in trouble, and he had both of his hands...
But he doesn't remember he had both of his hands there.
Well, no, because he would only have his right hand there.
Exactly. He would never bring up his left hand.
Yeah. And just in his memory...
So this...
What would you say?
I would say that Zig would come in and let him know that the problem was his left hand. And Renner would question, why would it be my left hand? I never had one. And then Zig would step back and try to figure out what was going on.
No, Zig would already know.
Okay, then there's no need for this.
You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. Zig would already know because this place was built for humans. Everything that a human would ever experience, this was built to understand it. And work it and
so this
fix it and control it.
You need to reveal the left hand thing a different way because this.
Well, help me out. It's fine. I don't care how it's revealed. That's what happened. I just need to figure out how to express it in the right way. You're right. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. You can say something to the effect of Zig almost said I almost lost my right hand, and then I would have had no hands. You see?
Yeah, I just didn't have that. You see?
You see?
You see?
Because the way it originally has been written...
I wrote it in a way that expressed the information, not told the story well. Yes.
It feels like you wrote it with a different intent and have since then changed that intent.
What do you mean? What would you believe the other intent to be? I have no other intent.
The one I was thinking was happening was where you were getting hands mixed up because... I didn't know Zig knew everything that was happening. He
would understand every point of human biology, including something we wouldn't understand as how it is placed in the time. I don't know how else to say this. This isn't something we understand is the problem. So any words I say is gibberish. It's just gibberish that can make sense if you look at it hard enough.
He just knows. But my inference here was that he didn't just know. It was something else.
No, he just can't tell Infrazyg's stuff. Because he has isolated himself from Zig. Alright, so.
What did you type?
Zig says my right hand might have exploded. Then I would have no hands. Handy.
Then I would have no hands. Wouldn't that be weird, trying to do things with no hands? Something to that effect. Give it that joke again. That was funny. Him like...
Well, I wasn't done.
Oh, yeah, keep going. I'd have to relearn how to wipe my bum.
What in the world the joke is that?
I don't know. I just thinking of things.
Renner's not a poop joke guy, though. Yeah. Now, the closest to poop joke is probably Otto. Maybe Hannah.
Nah, Hannah wouldn't make a poop joke.
Hannah's not funny. Hannah's not trying to be funny.
Okay, hold on.
Oh.
There needs to be... So yeah, he held up his left stump and wiggled it. But,
He's not punchy enough?
no, there's no idea in this sentence about him not having a memory of a left hand.
Ziggs was standing in the back of the room and they looked at him. That's the problem. Infrazyg didn't destroy his hand now. He destroyed it through time. Through all time. He doesn't even remember having a left hand, and he will never know or remember what it was like to have one. It seems that the curative you applied at the moment of obliteration, Hannah, you saved his right hand.
If they got married, where did he put his ring?
Who?
Renner. His left hand. It's this one.
Oh.
Where's his ring?
Obliterated, I imagine.
No. In his memory currently.
I guess he would just slip it on his right ring finger.
Okay.
Just.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not like he can't get another one.
Well, I didn't care about the physical location of his ring he had when he had a left hand. It's just where in his memory did he put his ring? And right hand makes sense.
Choking.
Shocking Hannah.
Because she hadn't seen it yet. Otto and Izzy saw it.
Yeah, and the way he's so nonchalant about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's that's the shocking part. How nonchalant he is about not having a left hand. And the clacks are back. Well, his hand is covered in loam, so unless he takes off the loam. Hooded can't hear me when I
No,
type.
I heard you. I just gotta figure out how to put it in here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's probably fun. Kate's probably used to it. In fact, she's probably giggling while this is happening. He doesn't seem to be concerned, and as you can tell in the chapter next, it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Right? Or this chapter. No, in the middle of this chapter, it doesn't really matter.
She could, like, giggle with a bit of sadness, too, because, like, she has memories of his left hand. His twins have memories of his left hand.
Okay.
Alright, so that kind of helps me with that one.
So, on the table is his right arm.
Covered in loam. Oh, no, you fixed...
I'm just making sure he looted his left stump.
Yes.
Wedding ring on the right finger, or right hand.
Uh-huh.
I like that you said it, and I felt like Katie would say that.
Yeah.
She would say something about that. So I added it in. I thought it was a nice touch, Kristen. Thank you. Cheesy, thank you. Okay, well, we can keep going then. The two prides filled Hannah. This is a complicated sentence, too.
To Hannah, this meant more than normal. Now there were two prides filled. Now that there were two prides. 2 prides filled. Hold on. What are you trying to say? Wait, before you don't.
2 prides filled to Hannah's.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like since she was getting pride from the other person, she could offload all of her pride to her siblings, and it was like really easy for her. Okay. They give her a break, and then they go up into the space above.
They play around a little bit.
This is incredible.
Why is Katie not up there?
What would she say? She needs to be up here. She said everyone, and she was in the room.
Yeah.
I know what she would say. Oh, is Izzy? Where is it?
And who doesn't know how to read? What are you looking for?
Trying to find right here. To be like. What's that?
What? What's the what? A sister like that. Hey, at least I didn't say threat or the it or
Yeah, I mean
anything else that you typed.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Um
And then they hugged her too.
There you go.
You have on, Izzy said, pulling her into the hug.
Thank you.
Hey, I prevented the other one from coming out. I couldn't do this one. Well, when I saw you typing it, you have on Izzy, and I was thinking you have one on Planet Izzy.
Yeah.
But that's not really an easy thing.
I want to say Katie moaned. Oh, I want a sister like that. Katie moaned. Is that? It kind of sounds wrong, but I can't figure out what to put there. What's it? Aw. What is that? Aw.
Well...
Crowed?
No.
Let us know in the comments below what you think the answer should be, because I can't figure it out. Katie added?
Yeah, added. Added is good. Added
Just for now.
Added is good.
If you guys put something in the comments, it'll appear in there, I'm sure. Otto had his clear rings on. I want to try something. Let's get the real view.
This is kind of crazy. That
Yes.
I kind of like it because you can see him like he's almost going like microscopic and looking at all the building blocks of the whole place, and it's all just
condensed consciousness, condensed awareness, something like that. I don't know. It's gibberish, but it's fun gibberish. It's natural gibberish as opposed to technological gibberish.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going for. I'm going for like technology from life rather than technology from innovation. Or
so why did
metal.
Izzy pull Zig up? She have a question for him? What was her purpose for pulling him up?
Yeah. They were up there and she just felt like he should show up, and he showed up for what he needed to do and left. It was just to kind of get his opinion on it too. See what he had to say. Everyone kind of was curious as what they were looking at. And then he explains. Right?
Well, and mostly it seems like Hannah had a question, but she just didn't realize Hannah had a question yet. And she incidentally incidentally pulled Zig up in that moment that Hannah needed something answered.
It's the what was the conclusion to it all? I thought it was rather eloquent.
That they take care of each other.
That's that if you get big enough, your Hannah will help other Hannahs that you've acquired, so to speak. and you won't have to do all of the looking after. You won't have to have it all the time.
Uh-huh.
So they work together to form this, which she calls rightly a utopia.
Uh-huh.
Even with the bad things on it, the event.
Yeah.
It's still a utopia. And
you just don't go near the stump.
And then she explains everything, doesn't she? Everything I would say right here. This is what Earth could be if we recognize that intentional evil must be withheld at all costs.
And it's not stopped. It's not
withheld.
Oops, sorry.
Like we should never try to end all these evil things. We should put them in a museum for others to look at.
It almost seems like within yourself, all the intentional evil must be withheld at all costs.
Yes, everyone has to do it though. All intentional evil.
Yes. That we have to do it within ourselves, and not to do evil towards others.
Yeah. And she's like, she gets it so quickly. And then I kind of, the concept of being a god settling into her mind. And it's almost as if he heard it when he said, don't do it, try anything drastic.
Otto put away the periscope and stood up. What would happen if I fell? This was his downfall, as he gave Izzy the idea to push him. He began to fall. Screaming, yelling, something to the effect of, "Curse you, Izzy!" You know.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of funny.
No, that's fine, right?
Yeah. For it got a hand, Izzy winched him, laughing loudly. And what would Otto do to Izzy in that moment?
Laugh.
Would he smack her? Would he?
No, Otto would join in the laughter.
I feel like he would do something a little more, even if it's playful. But I could be wrong.
He's not an aggressive person, so he wouldn't strike.
Okay, that's fine.
And if anything, he was enjoying the falling when he was falling. I think the cursing is enough. If you didn't see that, I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah, I said it.
Yes.
He fell cursing Izzy.
He fell cursing Izzy. Before it got out of hand, Izzy winched him. So he kind of got it out there. And then probably was laughing as he was winched. And enjoying the fall like everyone else. And then Hannah, while she was laughing, so she's like watching all her siblings do this fun stuff, and then she just falls back off of the platform. And she holds it there, so there's no problem.
And then Renner decides to just
Renner, I mean, he's
thrill seeker.
after especially after having gone through such a traumatic event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like but he has his hand, so it's not a big deal. Well, he has a rather impressive prosthetic hand in the end. Because I mean, he could just do whatever he wants.
Which he got from the diamond, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's aiming for the lava. Is that too much?
No.
Okay.
No, because he knew his
humor.
sisters would save him in one way or another. The platform moved under him and rapidly slowed his descent.
He's also being a little bit reckless there.
Yeah.
And that's gonna have to come up again if it doesn't. And I changed wheeze in there. Also, I saw a couple I when Hannah was talking to them.
I see.
It said we.
Zig smiled as they entered, aware that his news will put a damper on it. He waited until the joviality subsided. When he explained, I figured out what Infrazyg was doing on his side. He planted another tree, this time on our side. Okay, so you have two sides there, and I don't think you need two of the same side. I know what he's doing.
Infrazyg is doing, yeah. I don't need to.
He planted another tree here. You can say just a simple here there.
Comma.
Figured out what Infrazyg was doing. He planted another tree, this time on our side.
Which is a clear trap that I'm not sure how to foil.
Okay, well, if there isn't a tree, what will happen?
And then he asked semi-rhetorically, what does that mean?
Like, he already kind of knows what's going to happen.
Okay.
He wants there to be a good answer.
Uh-huh.
But he knows there's not really going to be a good answer. He already knows kind of what's going to be said.
it seems like we don't have any choice but to step in the trap and defend ourselves. This is a sentence I should look at, though. The worlds will further differentiate until the event that happens will cleave the two worlds into four, preventing further recombination efforts. Ugh.
Cleave the two worlds into four, preventing further recombination efforts.
It seems like we don't have a choice. Let's step in the trap and defend ourselves at all cost.
What if only one of us needs to go through?
Hannah being the obvious choice.
Well, I was just making sure you had no we, or you had no I.
I mean, what would happen if Hannah went through? Why wouldn't Zig be like, go through, Hannah?
Because Zig would catch her? Infrazyg would catch her?
What? Oh, maybe. What's the, how? She's so stupid powerful. No, he would probably have some way through the living metal now that he knows it's in their hands.
Yeah. Does he know exactly who's holding it, or...?
But she's also precious to Zig. She's precious to Zig, and the last time she was out, it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So we want to just spare that. And Otto, I mean, he's not a fighter, but he can also do a lot of good by looking through the periscope. So it's all legit. And I think that Zig doesn't know what would happen if Hannah went through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he doesn't want to send Hannah through.
What if we send clothes?
But she could have just done it.
Yeah.
We don't know. And I don't think we have a need to know.
We need a way to understand his machinations. Okay. Machinations?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I hear that word, I only want is macaroni and cheese.
That's not what it means, though.
Oh.
Do you not know what machination means?
Can you explain?
Should we Google it?
Yes, please.
Machination. Machination.
Like, I get the idea. It's like what he's planning on doing.
Yeah, literally.
A plot or a scheme.
Yeah. But it's a big word that Zig gets to use. And it is likely that he would need to remove the DNA. So he knows something of what would happen, and he knows that it's possible, and if Zig could do it, it would be very bad for everybody. If Infrazyg could do it, it could be very bad for everybody.
Yeah.
But Otto clears everything up in just an instant.
Clones!
It's like, wait a second, we've done this. We know that. And then, yeah. And Zig is excited.
Who's being cloned, though? Seems like it would have to be you two, because Hannah can't go through it. And honestly, okay.
Sure, but why, Izzy asked. Well, I don't think I'm compatible with the process, she said, looking at Zig, who nodded. And Otto can watch the events and tell us when to pull you.
Yeah, that
you
makes
can't
sense.
just clone the Hannahs either.
Well, the other thing is, too, yeah, you can't clone the Hannahs.
You would have a Hannah, but I don't know that it would work, because you would have to have the other Hannah for that Hannah to exist, and it just falls apart.
It wouldn't be able to clone the other Hannah. But also, Izzy and Renner's powers don't seem... Would their powers get cloned as well? Could she wench her brother?
No.
Could clone
No, that's
Izzy?
what... In fact, when we read the next chapter, she has no choice. She can't. There's nothing there. She's just Izzy. Yeah. She's just Izzy. And it's just Renner.
See, that's the other thing, is like Otto couldn't use his periscope, which is really important for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And then even if you could clone Hannah, you couldn't use most of all of her stuff, and that's very important. That's what protects her. And so Renner and Izzy's abilities,
they're also the fighters.
They're also the fighters.
I mean, Hannah's not a fighter. In fact, she's using the liquid metal to heal.
Their abilities aren't depended in their fighting.
Renner is smart, a little reckless, but smart.
Yeah,
very, very smart. Not making mistakes very often. But Izzy will make the mistakes.
Okay, so we've been working on a rapid growth variant of the DuPots. If we have successfully started the growth today, then tomorrow we can get started on the mission.
This needs to be sentence down.
What if we have successfully started the growth today?
In case the didn't take for whatever reason, if they messed up on the thing.
Okay.
But if they can today and there's no problems, then tomorrow they'll be out.
Okay.
There's a rapid growth. Boom. They aren't as effective as the other ones, but
you're gonna be our guinea pigs. That's what it feels like a little bit. You're my guinea pig. Sometimes you need guinea pigs. And left to grow overnight.
Which is a great sentence. Grow a Renner. He says gotta. Leave me alone. Add that to the dictionary. That's a freaking word. So, that was it. Recap. Alright. Chapter 20. Which was called... I forgot what it's called. Tell me in the comments below if you remember what the chapter is called. I changed it.
You did change it, and I don't... Oh, good.
No, I changed it from that. I think you see it.
The Eye of the Storm. Oh, the calm. Okay.
That calm in the middle, where they have a little bit of breathing room, and not a lot, and they get to talk and learn about each other's stuff. Okay.
And it feels like they're getting a little bit of Hannah's balance of emotions back.
No, I'm trying to do more than balance. She's like able to give them more positive emotions now because of Hannah. She's realizing because Hannah can do the pride now.
Mm-hmm. She can double.
It's double the emotion, double the feeling, so they can just give it freely now.
Yeah.
All right, recap. Eye of the Storm. First part of that chapter went on with Renner's hand is gone now, and for
Renner never really had a left hand? Question mark. Because that gives us the idea of the fact that he did. We all know he had a left hand. Why does he never have a left hand now? It puts that time aspect in it. That's what I'm saying.
I wanted to keep him his actual right hand.
Why did you want his right hand?
Because it's your right hand.
Is it dominant?
Well, yeah, he's right-handed. They're all right-handed. All the left-handed people, they're awful. They're
Oh,
monsters.
stop it, you punk.
They're the devil's children.
Seeing Zig in its minute glory. I used a big word.
Okay. Slur.
A tree or another problem.
Oh yes.
I don't know how to word that.
The next problem.
The next problem.
Next.
And I know what number 4 is already.
What?
Growing an Izzy and a Renner. Clack clacks. How to grow twins that aren't related. They are and they aren't.
There's a boy and the girl, meaning that they're not the same set of twins.
Yeah, I get it.
They're not from the same set of twins. Yeah. But this will not be triplets. There's no more of this nonsense. There will not be 1,000 Hannahs to talk about. Only 2. For now.
For now.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.
We love you. Like, comment, subscribe, and everything.